Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today, I'll be teaching you how to do a cracker stitch, like this. So, if you've been to North America, or you live in North America, you know that this looks like a popular snack cracker. It's got that little indentation in the middle. But I don't want to step on anyone's toes, so I'm just going to call this a cracker stitch. And then you'll know what I mean by that. So in this video, by the end of this video, you will know how to make a cracker stitch in plastic canvas. As always, if you're here to learn a new hobby, or to expand your knowledge of the craft, or just to relax, you've come to the right place. So let's get started. Let's talk about the cracker stitch a little bit here. So I've got an entire project that I've done right here. And it's a little bit easier to see with this yarn, that indentation that I'm talking about in the middle. So we're essentially just doing single stitches, double stitches, triple stitches in a particular pattern that gives it the appearance of a square. You can do this for the entire project if you like, or you can just put it in certain spots on a project. But I use the cracker stitch a lot. It covers a lot of space quickly, and it's also just very interesting to look at. But you can use it however it is that you'd like. So what you'll need, of course, is 7 mesh plastic canvas. Again, they normally come in these large sheets, but I've already pre-cut it to the size that I need. You're going to need your size 16 tapestry needle. You're of course going to need your yarn, medium weight, and you're going to need a nice sharp pair of scissors. Let's cut our yarn and we'll get started here. We're going to start with a blue one, with that blue in the back here, this beautiful bright blue color. So the way that my mom used to get the yarn on the needle is she would used to lick it or stick it in her mouth to get it wet, and then she would try it that way. But I'm too much of a germaphobe for that, so I just fold the yarn over on itself, pinch it, make a little nub, and then the widest part of the needle is going to be in the middle. So that's where I try to stick it through, and then I'll just pull it through like that. Yep. Leave yourself enough of a tail on there that the yarn doesn't fall out. And we're going to do a cracker stitch here. So it might not make too much sense when I show you, but it'll make sense after you see it done. So we're going to start right here on the bottom left here. We're going to do a single stitch. Again, as with other stitches, we're going to use our, in my case, the middle finger to hold that yarn tail flat against the back of the canvas. Okay. Just holding it flat against the back of the canvas. That way we can weave around it as we go. And we're going to do a single stitch here. So we're going to go right here. And we're going to do a double. So this is our next one right here. We're going to go right here. Okay. We're going to do a triple. So we're going to go in right here. We go right here. So now we've got a single, a double, and a triple. And then this is where things change. So pay attention. I'm going to go right here. Now we're going to go in the middle. Now if that yarn in the back is in the way, just kind of scoot it out of the way so that you have space to get it in there, because you don't want to split it in between the strands. Okay. I'm going to go right here. Okay, it'll make sense here in a second. We're not going to go in the corner. I'm going to go right here. And all of this is to keep it so that we have a good angle and good coverage with our yarn. So now that space, that indentation in the middle, on the back side, we're going to go into that space right there. Okay. Now we're going to go in the corner. Okay. We're going to go here next. Okay. We're going to go here next. We're going to go here next. We're going to go here next. All right, we're almost done. We're going to flip it over to the back side. We're going to weave this needle. We're going to aim for the corner. We're just going to push it underneath of all these stitches. Okay, give it a little tug if you want. Pull the needle off the yarn. All right, now we're going to grab our scissors. I'm going to cut this little tail off here. There we go. We're going to cut the other tail that we had. Ooh, there we go. Okay. So now that's one cracker stitch. I'm going to put another one on top of it just so that you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about. We're going to use this beautiful purple right here. Oops. Kind of stuck. Yep, we've got this purple here. And that should be enough for a stitch. Again, leave yourself enough there so that you can pick it up later. Weave it over itself. Or we'll fold it over itself. Try to put it through the biggest part of the needle. There we go. Give yourself enough to work with. All right. Now we're going to do this one just on top of this one. But since you've already got the square here, it should be a good illustrator of what it is we're trying to achieve by making something into a square. So we're going to go right here to start. We're just going to put one cracker stitch on top of this one. All right. Again, making sure that you're holding that tail flat against the back of the canvas. Okay. I'm going to go right here. Okay. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go right here. So think of it as a single on top of a double, or a single, then a double, then a triple. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go right here. All right, now the fancy part. Bottom left of the square, right here. I'm going to go into the middle. Go right here. Not in the corner. Go right here. Okay. Now we're going to go into that middle there. Okay, going into the middle. Be careful not to get any of the other yarn strands. Now it's time for the corner. All right, I'm going to go right here. I go right here. Okay. I'm going to go right here. I go right here. We're almost done. Now this purple, it's a little bit easier to see how this, why I call this a cracker stitch. But also now that you have this blue on the bottom, you can easier see why it is that we're using this combination of stitches to make a square shape. All right, we're going to move on to the back. We're going to weave in the tail here. Same thing as with the blue. Just going to go right down the center. Try not to split any of the strands if you can. Okay. Take the needle off the yarn. All right. I'm going to cut that tail off there. Turn it around. We'll get the bigger tail. And there you have it. We have the cracker stitch. And again, you can do this in the middle and then do other things like a seamless border, do some other stuff in the middle, or you can make an entire project out of cracker stitches. It really is a versatile stitch. I really love the cracker stitch. So that's it. You've now done your first cracker stitch. That wasn't so hard. Well, folks, thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned, as I'll be able to share more videos with you about plastic canvas and maybe even some about crochet and knit as well. So keep your eyes out. Heck, even consider liking this video and subscribing if you like this kind of content and would like to see more. As always, if you have any questions, just drop them into the comment section down below. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.